Dory 1, this is Fire Team Delta. Dad's coming home.
Welcome to the Military Veteran Dad Podcast, where it is our mission to bring every dad home. I am your host, Ben Killoy. I'm a United States Marine veteran, husband, and a father. We will bring authentic conversations to inspire action in your life so we can close the gap between the dad you are today and the dad you want to be tomorrow. This is the Military Veteran Dad Podcast. Welcome back to the Military Veteran Dad Friday solo series. Man, still feel alive coming back to you. I can honestly say every day I wake up, I have never been better. That's been my answer of how I'm doing for the last few weeks here. Still fired up, still ready to keep going, still keep bringing you guys value. This week's Friday solo is going to be talking about a shovel. Now, it sounds like an odd idea, but let me backstory it a little bit. It's summertime. Now, it's not summertime here in Wisconsin, but if you're pretty much this idea applies to really anything in your life. So imagine a shovel on the side of the garage. It's rusty. There's grass growing around it. It's been there for months, maybe years. You walk by it daily even, maybe weekly, maybe monthly. However often you walk by it, and that shovel just continues to grow and grow and grow around it and rust. But here's the odd part of having this shovel there on the side of the garage. All it takes is 10 seconds to put it away. But why don't we? Why don't we just take that 10 seconds, grab the shovel, walk it inside, and problem solved? Extrapolate that to your desk at work, your car, the kitchen, the junk drawer. All of those things are kind of like the shovel. You walk by them, your brain just kind of gets used to seeing it this way, like it's almost part of the landscape. And that kind of just begins how your brain operates. Think about a garage. How many dads out there have a garage that's a hot mess? Mine gets a hot mess in the summer, but there's garages out there that you can't park a vehicle in. That's like a massive shovel. And you walk by it and you kind of just get used to it. You're just numb to it. You don't even really process it as stress anymore. You just look at it. But think about what that does subconsciously. Think of how many shovels are in your life that you're walking by, and it's almost just this to-do list that has just become there. It's a permanent fixture on your to-do list, but you don't actually ever do it. And how much, because I honestly feel when my to-do list, when I have 15 things around me to do, I feel overwhelmed very quickly. Even just last night, my desk was a hot mess. I had all this stuff, all these to-dos on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down for 10 minutes and clean it up. And if you've ever cleaned up your desk at work, you instantly feel better. You're like, oh. Or you clean up your garage and you're like, man, this is the kind of garage that Tim Taylor or Tim Allen would be proud of on Home Improvement. The man's garage. But then slowly but surely, it creeps back in. Now, this is something that I honestly do a lot. I'm good at cleaning something up, but I'm not often good at keeping it clean. Now, within this new experience of losing my job, this is something I'm really working on because I know where my mindset needs to be. I know where my performance needs to be. And really all my excuses are out the window right now. So if there was ever a time to build a solid habit in of keeping things organized as you live your life, it's now where I have all this time. But just going back to the shovel, think of how many shovels are in your life that just need to be moved. And once you move it, problem solved. How many shovels do you walk by daily and just never do anything about? Maybe it's a sock. Maybe it's the clothes in the corner of the bedroom. Could be anything. Think of it as really any object you walk by every day and just ignore. And you just let it go, and that's it. Those shovels have a weight on your conscious or your subconscious, and they're there whether you acknowledge them or not. And if you feel overwhelmed consistently, and if you feel almost a ball of stress come into your life just walking into your house, there's a good chance it's because of the shovels. It could be because of other things. Maybe there's relationship tension. Maybe there's tension with your kids. But there's a good chance it's the shovels because it's not a place where your mind feels safe. It's just this place where your mind feels anxious because of what it's around. And there's all this stuff that you need to do. But here's the magic part. It has a cure. You just need to move the shovel, pick it up, spend 15 minutes like I did and clean your desk up, and then set a goal, try to keep it clean, keep it organized, or keep the garage organized. All of these things matter. I was recently listening to a podcast from Ryan Mickler on Order of Man, and he was talking about if you're bitching about a problem in your life and you've got a car that's messy, stop bitching about the problem and clean your car. Because what you're doing is just kind of like creating this excuse in your life to kind of keep as a nice, warm, fuzzy security blanket. Like, as long as I have this problem, I'll be okay and I can keep bitching about it and that'll be my thing. But if your car is a mess, work on something you can fix, especially if the problem is something you don't control. Work on something you can, like keeping your car clean, keeping your garage clean, keeping your office clean. These are things that 100% you're in control of. There's actually no person in your life other than yourself that prevents you from moving the shovel or keeping your car clean or keeping your desk clean or keeping the kitchen clean. Whatever area of the house or whatever area of your life you're applying this analogy to, just pick it up and move it. Practice it. Keep the car clean. Because I can tell you, I just did it this past weekend. I vacuumed up my car because the weather was nice. It feels like a nice, warm environment to get into. And if you feels like a mess and there's crap everywhere, or there's always that classic, someone gets in the car and you're like, oh shit, I got to move all this stuff. That's often a reminder of like, oh, and then the best part, it's just throw it in the back where it goes to die, because then the back just continues to pile up. And when you got the kids back there, then it becomes stuff that they play with. And it's just this cycle that just makes it worse. Focus on the shovels. Identify the shovels. If you're stuck as a dad, not sure where to begin, maybe this is your first podcast episode you've listened to, this is an easy place to feel a good, solid win. That if you can keep momentum in an area of keeping your car clean for a month, if you can keep your desk clean at work for a month, this will give you a quick win that allows you to feel like you're moving forward. Because if you can have the clarity consistently and, well, I could do that. What else can I do, I wonder? Because a little bit ago, that problem seemed impossible to tackle, and I just did it. And the best part of this, and I kind of already hinted at it, again, you have 100% control over it. There are a lot of problems in life that you can't control. You can't control how your kids feel. You can't control the weather. You can't control whether Mother Nature dumped 10 inches of snow that night before and you got to get up and shovel before everybody goes to work and gets out the door. You can't control how your wife feels. You can't control what stress she brings home. You can't control what stress you're walking into when you come home. All of those things are outside of your control. But this, the shovels, is something you can control. This is the quick win that you're looking for. This is the quick win that gives you that one little, maybe even centimeter momentum to feel a little bit more present with your mind. And then, hopefully, maybe take that freedom in your mind of not having to stare at that messy desk. Spend that time with your kids. Spend that time coming home to your kids. And just be present. And a lot of these shovels can free up your mind in a way that you're not thinking about the shovel subconsciously when you're playing a game with your son. Or you're not triggered by what your son's telling you or bringing you. Maybe he's bringing you a storm of emotion. If you don't have all these other things that are kind of like in the back subconscious of things you should be doing in your life, these shoulds will eat you away. In a future episode, I will do an episode on shoulding, but those shoulds can counteract everything you want in life. And it's those should have moved that shovel. I should have did that. Another story that kind of highlights this a little bit good is maybe like 3 years ago, we bought a playset. And I put it in, did the whole 9 yards, spent the whole weekend setting it up, and said, I'll just finish anchoring it down later. I put in 2 anchors on the swing side, and lo and behold, a big, massive, like micro wind came through within 30 minutes while we were gone one time, and we came home, and the entire playground set was flipped over on its end. I should have did that. I should have put those stakes in right away, but I didn't, and I paid the consequences. Man, that was something that ate at me for a while afterwards because of the guilt. Damn, why did I have to procrastinate that important task? How many things do we do that to ourselves? That stuff really matters and it adds up. So, wrapping up, focus on the shovels in your life. Put the shovel in the garage. Find other shovels to put in the garage or mentally wherever they're supposed to go. Organize a little bit and take that time and that presence that you freed your mind up with. Come home to your marriage. Come home to your family, because that is the quickest win to help make you feel like you're moving forward. Just keep a clean card. Move that shovel. So with that, I'll wrap up and I will talk to you again on Monday.